Hey everyone,
Hello,
this is Luke with Essential TV,
and I'm Peter with Essential TV.
and we are here to talk about The Walking Dead. So, we're going to talk about last night's episode of The Walking Dead. So, if you haven't seen it, don't watch because we will be talking about specific things that happen. Although last night's episode, I don't think there's any. There's only maybe a couple things that I would deem spoilers.
Yeah, not much really happens.
So, I mean, really, if there's an episode that you haven't seen that you watch us talk about, this one would be a pretty safe one. So, spoilers won't be a big deal. First, we just want to ask you please rebroadcast to your friends,
Retweet us on Twitter,
retweet us, and let's try to bring in all the Walking Dead fans we can.
and ask us questions or comments on last night's episode or theories
Yeah,
you have.
keep sending us messages, and we'll try to respond as best we can.
We want this to be conversational.
Exactly. So, first, last night's episode. I thought it was a pretty good episode, personally. I think that I was. I don't want to call myself a hater to the Morgan episode the previous week, but it just felt like
Yeah,
Here's Not Here, last week's episode, was really slow. And, I mean, by slow, I mean this thing was taking a nap. It was 90 minutes and it was a flashback, the whole thing. So I liked last night's episode, actually brought us back into the present, back into Alexandria, and back into what's going on. And even though not a lot happened, it was, if it had come after the previous episode, the previous three episodes at the beginning of the season, I feel like last night's episode would have felt really slow, but because it came after that Morgan episode, it actually felt like a normal pace.
and it did not seem nearly as long. I don't think the Morgan episode did not need to be 90 minutes.
Right. And somebody asks, what was the point of last week's filler episode? I mean, the point was to show Morgan's flashback and bring us up to speed on how he learned to be at peace and that all life is precious, but I just think it didn't need to be 90 minutes to do that. And the fact that it came after some of the most exciting, action packed episodes in the show's history, one, two, three, right in a row, and then have that, it was just, I feel like it was a big mistake. But last night I enjoyed more. Um, One thing that I noticed, kind of a side note, Carol wasn't in last night's episode at all.
No.
Apparently, she was finally taking her nap from being Rambo.
Or making more lasagna.
She could have been making lasagna. Um, we've been asked, as everybody's asked, is Glenn alive?
I thought they were gonna give us a hint or something because it was in the previously on, but now
Yeah, that's usually if they go into the previously on and they show something like that, you think they're going to give answers. But I think they were just showing that because it's relevant for Maggie and her story. But we still don't know what's up with Glenn. Um, I still think that the guy is dead. I like Glenn. It's not like I want him to be dead, but it just feels like it looked pretty definitive that he was being killed and devoured. And everybody says, "Well, Nick fell on top of him. That was Nick guts." Like, maybe, but that I think that might be wishful thinking. I feel like if he actually is alive, it's very hard for them to write a story that makes it believable how he got out of that mess. And I don't know, they could do it, but I don't know. I'm of the belief that Glenn is dead until he's not dead. It's like Schrodinger's cat. He could be dead. He could be alive.
he's alive to me. Somehow, he got out. I don't think they would give us a death of a major character like that.
I don't know. We'll see. I think there will be some kind of closure.
We still don't know what happened with Rick and the RV.
So that was something that really bothered me last night. Is that in that episode, the infamous Glenn dumpster diving episode, which everybody was talking about Glenn. The other thing that people were talking about, but not as much, obviously, was Rick at the end in the RV. And it looks like Rick is stuck in this RV. He's surrounded by walkers.
His hand is sliced.
His hand sliced. What's going to happen to Rick? Is he going to die? And last night's episode just really jumps right into it, where Rick is running back to Alexandria, and we never really saw what happened with that RV. So, I don't know. I felt like we were going to get a story there, and we didn't get a story. And I don't know. What do you think?
I'm just receiving word. We're being joined by our other correspondent, Ricky Day. Ricky,
Mr. Ricky.
welcome. Hey guys. So Ricky, what was your impression of last night's episode?
It was pretty good. Obviously, you're not gonna know what's gonna happen to Glenn right away.
No.
You know, they're gonna stretch it out as long as they can. You saw what Maggie's take was and how.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah, she's pregnant, but it was kind of weird that she was a different mentality this time around than the last time Glenn was missing.
Well, I think that's something that's really important is that we've actually seen this story before where Maggie and Glenn spend like an entire season, it feels like. I think it was 4 or 5 episodes, but a long time actually searching for each other.
Yeah, the whole thing in the tunnel, right?
Yeah, and so it's interesting that they show that Maggie's different now, and the reason is because she's pregnant. Spoiler alert.
There's one thing that I didn't understand really. Maybe you guys can enlighten me, but why do they think Glenn is dead? Why were they writing his name on the wall? I mean, it wasn't like Rick saw what happened. No one saw what happened.
You hear in the very beginning of this the episode, and when Diana is on top of the wall, Deanna, and who's talking to Maggie?
I think
Michonne is talking to Maggie, and she's like whispering, but she's like, I think she says. He was supposed to signal if he got caught, but there was never
the whole
a signal.
Thing.
Yeah.
Glenn said he would signal, and there was no signal, and so the assumption is that if he didn't signal, he must be dead.
There you go.
I think they jumped to conclusions.
And they had like the
yeah. They said he was supposed to start a fire as a distraction, and if it couldn't happen, he'd give them a signal, and since there was no signal, he must be dead.
I half expected them when they went into the sewers to stumble across Glenn. To tell you the truth, because
like maybe him at the
but that's one of the theories is that okay, so there's like a manhole cover under the dumpster, and he shimmies under the dumpster, and there's a manhole cover, and it's like somebody mentioned it would be pathetic if Glenn's alive, and I think I have to agree with that. I feel like anything they come up with that explains how he gets out of that situation just has no credibility.
I know they can't do it. I mean. A few of my friends are just like the biggest Walking Dead fans in the world, and they're like to me, like, "What do you think? You think Glenn's dead? No way, right?" I'm like, "Dude, if he's not dead,
it's gonna piss
the
off
show
fans.
credibility will just drop
But
off."
somebody
and you'll
mentions
just never...
that the Jesus character, who has not been introduced yet in the show but is in the comics, could come in and save Glenn, which I think that's probably the best theory because we know this character is coming, we know this character is important. And what better way to introduce a character like that than to save another fan favorite character and instantly make him important in the show? But I still feel like, Jesus saves, but this is a tall order.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the way that they produced that episode, that end with, with the blood and the guts, I just can't see them doing that and then not making him dead, Like, would they really want to trick you like that? They haven't really done that type of episode yet.
They wanted that type of death. They wanted fans constantly arguing about this.
They wanted us to do exactly what we're doing right now.
Yes.
You win, Walking Dead. Take my money.
You win, Kirkman.
Yeah.
I think that kid Ron, who Rick killed his father,
Right.
the abusive dad. I think that kid Ron is up to something. I don't know what. I have no idea.
Well,
but
they kept showing, like, him with the knife on his belt, and they're hinting at something.
I think he's gonna try to like
Kill Carl.
Kill Carl
or Judith
or any. He's up to
now he
no
wants
good.
he wants Rick to teach him how to shoot a gun.
Right.
By the way, that little scuffle was like really
That was-
cheesy. I mean, come
that
on,
was
Carl.
so
Carl's
middle
supposed to be this
school,
badass
yeah.
dude. He's like,
And they're fighting like two middle schoolers.
Well, I don't know what happened to Killer Carl. Right.
Yeah.
Life on the farm.
He's getting
Life
soft,
in
man.
Alexandria.
getting a girlfriend.
Where's the Carl? It's like in Rocky. Women make weak legs. Sorry, we're trying to keep up with the messages as they scroll by.
Yeah, I'll keep him scrolling.
Somebody points out there is a picture with Glenn and Jesus together on set. I think that's great evidence that Glenn could be alive, but this show is well known for being one where the cast will actually pop in on their day off and like hang out on the show because it's such a fun environment. So just because he's on set with a character that hasn't been introduced yet doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing scenes together and he's still alive. we'll see. What about Rick's hand? It was better last night. I think that the Rick's hand thing is a non-issue.
It's done. You would have found out about it already.
Yeah.
It seemed like
they
he
did not address. Yeah, I mean, I think when he was like young, opening the gate, he was like clenching his hand that he cut, but nothing.
There's
Even when everything settled down, he's on top talking to
if
Ron.
you haven't read the comics, in the comics, Rick has a major hand issue, to say the least, and it looked like maybe they were hinting at that whenever he injured himself before the whole RV.
Yeah, they went out of their way to show he had an injury, and they never did anything.
What about Carl's eye? I don't know what that is.
That is a comic book spoiler.
Oh.
And I do not think there are any professional opticians in Alexandria, and I will leave it at that.
Okay, I can see where that's going.
And
Hey, it's
Rose
Rose.
says hello. Hi, Rose. We will see you soon. Rose is one of our viewers who is going to be stopping in today and couldn't make it, but we will see you in the future. How are they going to play Negan without the F-bomb? I mean, they're just going to have to clean up for AMC. The character will, I'm sure, still be vile and
Breaking
awful.
Bad.
Another comic book character, a major villain who we expect.
Breaking Bad dropped the F-bomb.
Well, the thing is, for these AMC shows, like Breaking Bad, a lot of times they'll use F-bombs or whatever, the foul language, but you don't actually know they used it until you watch the show on Netflix. On AMC, they won't show that. For a character like this, though, I think that they'll just have to clean it up.
Let's move on to the Alexandrians.
Yeah,
They are all panicking.
So the Alexandrians, how worthless are they?
Yeah, and especially Diane.
Deanna?
Deanna, I'm sorry. I'm always bad with the names. At the end of the show, she looked like she was about to open up the gate and just let all the walkers in.
She was going to pull a Nicholas and just take everyone with her. It's funny because The Walking Dead does this to us, right? I saw at the beginning of the episode, it shows inside the gates, there's like 20 Alexandrians, and it's like, I don't know who you are, or you, and I don't care, because you're all going to die.
Yeah.
We're never going to learn your name, because if you were important, we would have heard your name by now. And they did that with the prisoners, basically. We learned the prisoners' names when they introduced them, and then quickly gone before they had a place in the story. And then they did that with the Woodbury people, where the Woodbury people, it's like, hey, here's a bus full of people who are moving from Woodbury to the prison. They're going to live here during the season break, but by the time we get back, we're just going to kill them quickly, because you don't care about them. It's just cheap. It's lazy.
Yeah, it's a matter of time. I mean, I think you guys know this, but Alexandria is going to fall.
Well, it has to, because
they're all surrounded by walkers now.
It has to, because it will be boring if it doesn't.
Well, at least the walkers will save them from the.
I like that. I like that at the end towards the end, whenever Rick is talking about the guards, he's like, they're the guards, the walkers, because no wolves will be attacking, because no wolves will get through those walkers. We got to wonder about Daryl and Abraham and Sasha. They're going to be coming back, hopefully. We see next week's episode is going to be a Daryl episode, or at least he's finally going to have something to do, which I think we're all very excited about, because who doesn't love Daryl? But one thing that I just want to point out, and I don't know for sure, but next week on The Talking Dead, Michael Rooker, a.k.a. Merle, will be a special guest. So, I think what that means is we're going to get either a Merle flashback or a Merle hallucination, which we've also seen before. One time Daryl saw imaginary Merle whenever he thought Merle was dead. Now we know Merle's actually dead. So I think we're going to see Merle in the next episode.
It has to be a flashback, because Merle, the zombie Merle, is dead also.
Yeah, but it could just be a hallucination.
Yeah, that's true.
But
you're right. I remember that episode.
But it's like, I don't care. I'll take Merle any way I can get him, because he's awesome.
Michael Rooker's the best.
He's the best at being terrible. So I just kind of wrapping up, because I think that I wanted to go back to the essentialness of these episodes, right? So this season in particular, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, it's just like a thrill ride, nonstop action. You can't miss the first 3 episodes. We get to the Morgan episode, and it's like, yes, if you missed that episode, you're good. You're caught up, basically. We know everything we need to know. He found peace. We didn't need 90 minutes to show him actually searching for it. And I feel like last night's episode, nothing really major happened.
I like even the wrap up.
It's just basically a recap of what they were going through, and like Rick coming back. Seeing Rick alive was.
We don't even know what happened with Rick.
We know Rick gets back to the town.
I would have liked to see them. I wanted to see right where it picked up, right when the RV was getting surrounded. I want to see Rick in action.
Maybe we will.
Hopefully they better flash back to that, because if it's Rick just saying how he got out, like,
it's like if they don't show how Rick got out of that RV mess, but yet they showed 90 minutes of goat action last week, it's just going to be
and trying to make cheese
insulting to the audience.
Oh my lord.
But I think that this show has been historically very uneven. Right? I always think back to season 2. And season 2, episode 1, it's where Carl gets shot, they meet Herschel, Rick finds the farm, and then like the next 4 or 5 episodes, we're gonna search for Sophia. We still haven't found her, we're gonna search for Sophia. Hey, have you found Sophia? No, let's go look for her. And it's just like season 2, I would say about half the season you could skip.
Yeah.
But then there's greatness in there.
It's a great season.
To find Sophia.
Yeah, but there's like the mid-season finale, whenever I think they find her in the barn. They finally find her. That could have been episode 2
Was
of the
that
season.
the end of season 2?
No. It's the mid-season finale. They find her in the barn, but the season finale of season 2 is when the barn and the farm all gets overrun with a herd. And it's amazing. But
Is that when they... who was the... Shane. Was that when Shane tried to kill Rick?
That was the season finale.
That was the season finale.
That was awesome.
That's when you find out that you have to, like, if you die, you're going to come back as a zombie.
And somebody mentions, this is my point, the season started really strong, got really weak really fast. So this season 6, episodes 1, 2, and 3, I'm like, finally we've broken the curse, the Walking Dead curse. And this show, this is finally going to be a season that is consistently great.
Well, you know what, too? They're only doing 8 episodes, right? Is that what it is?
Well, it's 8 episodes for the first half of the season and 8 for the second.
Okay. And we have 3 left before the mid-season break. So I think maybe not next episode is going to be exciting or essential, but the last 2 are definitely going to be thrillers.
I hope that maybe on the curve we started up here, and then the Morgan and last night's episode are down here, and then we finish strong in the mid-season. I'll
take that, though.
I hope so. I feel like we have to.
You can't expect a season to be complete and utter awesome episodes every show.
No, but anyway, so
starting off 3 strong kind of like brings our expectations.
But I would ask all of you fans, everyone has an opinion about which episodes really are essential, which ones are not essential. We're launching a website to easily show other viewers which episodes are essential or not. And it relies on fans actually saying yes or no to each episode. So I would encourage all of you to go to essential.tv and rate these episodes. And if you agree with us that last night was not an essential episode, you could actually skip it and probably be caught up, you click no. If you think that you absolutely must spend 90 minutes with a goat and John Carroll Lynch in a cabin, you click yes to that episode. You'll be in the minority, but it's crowdsourced. So help other viewers, guide them through the world of The Walking Dead. And next week's Daryl.
Yeah, should be a good show.
Finally. So
I missed Daryl. I feel like he's not even in this season.
Well, he hasn't been.
Saw him on a bike 3 times.
And if Michael Rooker's in it, it's going to be good no matter what.
I really hope Michael Rooker's in next week's episode. And I really hope that you join us next week. So we will come back and we will talk about how great Michael Rooker was and how great it was to see him again.
And join us on Wednesday. We're talking Flash and Arrow.
If you like tuning in and partaking in these conversations on Wednesday around, what we say, 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
We're going to be talking about the Flash and Arrow. And we're going to try something new, I think, on Friday around this time, around 1-ish.
Yeah, lunchtime.
I think we're going to be talking about James Bond and the new movie Spectre.
Whole Daniel Craig series.
So there's a lot to talk about. We don't just watch The Walking Dead. We just mostly watch The Walking Dead. So thanks, everyone, and keep on walking.
Keep on walking.
I got it.